Welcome back. Another Tech Tip Tuesday video in our summer series here. And we just want to remind everybody about our giveaway. So we've got one winner who's going to get a set of Joey's bowstrings and cables for their setup, whatever bow that happens to be. And then one winner is going to get their pick of broadheads from Vantage Point Archery. Make sure you head on over, check both of them out. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. All that stuff is in the description. And then make sure you like and comment on every single one of these videos in this series. So if you're just getting in on this series, make sure you go back and watch the other episodes, and then watch every episode after this through the end of September. Everybody that has liked and commented on the videos, as well as subscribed to our channel, followed us on Instagram, followed VPA and Joey's Bowstrings on Instagram, they're going to be entered to win. So make sure you don't miss a single episode.
So on today's video, we're going to talk about different shooting positions in respect to our body. You know, we don't just go out and hunt and go out and shoot when it's perfect weather and it's nice out. As you can see, it's actually kind of raining right now on me here. But you need to maximize every opportunity that you get, and you want to try to replicate the hunting scenario in which you're going to be in. So if you know that you're going to be hunting in a tree stand, you want to make sure you're practicing out of the tree stand. You just want to make sure that you're shooting on flat, level ground the whole time, because that's not replicating what you're shooting in real life or in that type of hunting season. I hunt in a variety of different scenarios, so I need to make sure that I'm comfortable in each scenario that I'm in. And so I will go out and practice a little bit every day in any type of different technique. So there might be a day where I do a lot of sitting and shooting. There might be a day I'm working on my footwork and not standing on level ground, but I'm standing in uneven terrain, just to make sure my footing's correct and that I'm still doing the process the same way. Because what this will do is it'll help gain my self-confidence in my accuracy and then going into the field. I'm going to run you through some of the different shooting positions that I practice, and then just a little bit of the tips and techniques of what I've found helpful for myself in those different situations. So the first one that I'm going to start off with is my footing. So I hunt a lot out west, and even out here on the East Coast, if you're walking and stalking, if you're out on your feet, then you don't always get to pick the situation and where the deer decides to stand and what you get caught out in. So I practice with some uneven footing. That's with my front foot. I'll prop it up. I do have a little bit of uneven ground here at my house, but what I like to do is just take a big rock and I'll practice shooting with one foot propped up on the front. And it might not feel weird or different for anything, but you'll notice that if you ever went and shot a 3D tournament and you didn't get to stand on pretty flat ground, it does kind of throw you off a little bit. All my weight is now on my back leg, and so I need to make sure that I'm equally distributing that weight across my body. So I'll practice on the front foot, and then I'll go over here and I'll also practice it on my back foot. And what you notice is I brought that front foot actually in closer to kind of help offset and equal out my balance of my foot right here. The next one I'm going to do is me crouching. Alright, so many times you're out there doing a spot and stock, you're walking in, or whether it's mule deer, elk on the west coast, or whitetails in the Midwest, or out here east, you're walking, you're creeping along, then all of a sudden you see a deer. So you're like, stop, and you gotta get down real quick. So sometimes you have to crouch down to be able to get a shot, whether through that gap. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're crouching down so you can shoot underneath the limbs and the branches, or you're crouching down so you can get the arc over a log or something like that. Too often, we don't practice crouching down. So I'm gonna stay crouched down and I'm gonna draw. And I'm all over the place, but I'm just making sure I aim, and I'm going through the process of the shot. And I'm going to practice crouching at different heights. all the way down where I'm sitting almost on my heels to where I'm like half crouched down. And what I'm trying to do is I'm making sure I'm keeping my upper body straight up and down, and I'm only going down on my legs. I'm keeping almost like I'm squatting, and I come down, and then I draw my bow, keep my back straight up and down, watch the bubble, and then let it go. So I got a big hunt planned for out west, go and chase Oregon elk, and so I'm backpacking in for 3 to 4 days at a time, and so I'm gonna have a full pack in, but I'm gonna be hunting with the pack on my back. I'm not always gonna have a chance to be able to unhook, drop the pack, and then be able to sneak in on the hunt. So I gotta be able to be ready with having this extra weight on my back. You don't think it's gonna throw you off, but add an extra 50 pounds, 40 to almost 45 pounds on your back, and it'll throw you off on your weight, on your upper body. And your upper body is what is key to staying still to hold your bow straight up and down. So it doesn't take a lot of extra work. Just throw your bag on, make sure you have some weight in the back of it, and then just get out. And you're gonna practice anyways, so just get out and practice with the pack on your back. It's important to make sure you pack it, especially if you're gonna have stuff on the outside, just like you're gonna be hunting. So, because when you go to draw back, you might be hitting, or you might have your straps too tight to where when you go to draw, it's uncomfortable and it's not working out for you. Not only will I wear my pack standing up shooting like that, but with the uneven footing, I'm gonna practice that with a pack on my back, because that's gonna be a big scenario out west, as well as the crouching. So the crouching with a pack on my back shooting is definitely something I need to work on. The crouching in general. So the crouching is going to be your arch enemy. It's a very unstable position. You're down there, uneven, all over the place. One thing that you can do to kind of help maintain your balance, you can get what's called a Bosa ball, which is it's a flat platform with a dome on the bottom end of it, and you can practice standing on that. It's a very uneven, and it causes you to really use your core and use your hip flexors and everything to maintain your balance, and you can practice doing squats on that. That will help you in turn when you go to do that half squat and draw your bow. It'll help you maintain your steadiness and give you a better platform and base. So the next shooting scenario that I'll practice is I'll practice shooting from a stool. Many times I might be doing a ground blind hunt where I'm gonna have a stool in there. The only thing that would make this a little bit better is if I actually popped up my ground blind and practice shooting from inside of that. Now, I'll do that once I get closer to the season and I know for sure that I'm gonna be shooting out of a ground blind. You definitely wanna practice in there because you wanna make sure your stabilizer's not hitting, your arrow's not hitting, you know where to draw, and the height clearance that you need to shoot out the windows of your ground blind. But I will practice just shooting out of a stool, sitting down here. The key thing that I try to make sure I practice is I make sure my feet are still firmly planted on the ground, and I got a good base sitting there. Keep my back straight up and down, sitting up tall, good posture, right? I put the bow on the outside of my leg right here, and then I go to draw. So it does feel a little bit different. You would think that it's not that big of a deal, you're just sitting down, but you lose when your legs are not planted firmly on the ground and you're standing up using your core and your posture. Your base and your frame is altered. And so really I'm focusing a lot more on my upper half, making sure that that is what's holding my bow and making sure I'm steady when I'm aiming. So back straight up, using my core. And I'm still going through the whole process of my shot. The next position that I'm gonna practice is on my knees. So there's many instances when you're walking in or you're doing something and you see a deer or you see an animal. And so you stop, you get down, and you get down real low. And sometimes you get caught on your knees. And then that deer starts walking or the animal starts moving towards you or whatever and presents you with a shot. And you're still stuck on your knees. You're not given the chance to stand up. Or just like the crouching position, I might need to get down on my knees to be able to shoot underneath the brush and that my arrow doesn't hit any limbs or anything like that. And so I'll practice you know, shooting on my knees. And I'll start with double knees. And I don't sit straight up like that. I mean, I might practice a couple shots like that just to see how it feels. But just like the crouching and the sitting, it kind of throws me off. You know what I'm saying? Because now, instead of my feet, I'm on my knees, using my core straight up and down the body. And I was really trying to fight the bubble on that one. I could tell I was leaning. I would prefer is I take my feet and I tuck them up underneath me, and then I sit on my heels. It gives me a much steadier platform to sit on and be able to get a good shot, well-aimed shot. I'm also going to practice shooting with one knee up. And so I'll practice first with my front knee up. And when I'm doing this, I like to keep it, you know, I'm almost like facing the target, or I'll bring it way over here in front of my body, just like if I'm sitting. But now I only got one knee up. And then I'll practice with the back leg up and my front knee down. The last position that I'm going to talk about today is one that I practice often also, and that's sitting on the ground. So there's many times that, you know, I'm out hunting and I stop, take a break, eat a snack, drink some water and stuff. And so, you know, I'll sit down on the ground, put my back against a tree and just sit. And, you know, you never know, an animal could be passing through just at that time and you don't want to get caught unprepared. And so there's sometimes that this is the shot that you get. If I'm out scouting a new area, you know, sometimes I'll just sit down and sit and listen, watch. You know, if I see a good shooting window that I'll be watching and stuff. So, but what the biggest thing is I like to keep it to my left, being right-handed, my opening, because I'm going to shoot this way. So I'm going to keep my back up against a tree, and sometimes I'll keep my knees bent, sometimes I'll keep them out. It just depends. But I'll practice drawing and shooting from just sitting right here up against a tree. Once again, you wouldn't think it's a big difference, you know, but the first thing I notice is, you know, my cam in the dirt. So making sure that I hold it up high enough when I'm going into my draw cycle that I don't get it down in the dirt, and then I'm sitting up straight high enough to do that as well. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. So I hope you were able to take a little bit of something out of today. The biggest thing that I want to preach is, you know, go out there, try to shoot in different positions that you think you're going to be out there in a hunting scenario. Whether that's sitting on a stool, sitting on the ground, you know, sitting on your knees and getting a good well-aimed shot. Make sure you're going through the process the same every time, and that you're using your core and you're keeping your upper body straight, and that you're doing a nice smooth draw cycle. Another reason that we practice this is to draw in those scenarios and to be able to get a nice well-aimed shot. So, because during the draw cycle, you don't want to be moving and doing a bunch of craziness and get picked off by those animals. Making sure you can draw smooth with minimal movement in those positions is also very important, and just as important as being able to take a well-aimed shot. Hopefully you'll be able to pick up something from this, and you'll be able to get out there and, you know, throw this into your routine. You know, go out there one day and just take some shots from a sitting stool. Go out there the next day, take some shots with your pack on your back. Go out there the next day, shoot with sitting down on the ground. You'll be amazed on how it will help you, give you confidence in your shooting, in your ability to shoot. It'll help increase your accuracy in other scenarios because you're practicing the process. You're just shooting it in a different form. You're not standing still on flat ground, inside, with the perfect conditions. You're actually replicating your hunting scenario and getting it done. So you'll carry this accuracy and confidence into the woods, helping you be more successful. Until next time, all right, get out there and get shooting. See you next week.